Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. I'm not changing the colour scheme, the only thing I am changing is to use a different piece of designer series paper. This one's from Tranquil Textures and I'm going to be using a piece from Nature's Poem. So the card pieces that you're going to need is a card base which measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8 inches, which is 21 by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5 centimetres. And then you need 2 pieces of shaded spruce which measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. And then 2 pieces of Whisper White which measure 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 9.7 by 13.7 centimetres. And then the designer series paper which should measure 1 inch by 5 3/8 inches, which is 2.5 by 13.7 centimetres. So I'm going to do the front piece first. Let's move that over there. And I'm going to stamp the frog first. The frog is from a stamp set that's available as a gift during celebration, and it's called So Hoppy Together. I'm going to use this and this little thing here. I'm calling this a dragonfly. I don't know if that's what it's meant to be or not, but he's pretty cute. And I'm also going to use Hoppy for You. If you don't know celebration, it's a time of the year where Stampin' Up offer a free gift for every £45 of your order, and there's a little brochure that is full of gifts that you can choose from, and this is one of them. Right. So I'm using black memento ink. And now I need to cover the frog because I want him to be sitting on the tree trunk. Which is here. So I'm using soft suede. Now I know that to get this positioning correct, where's my paper piercer? There we go. I know that I've got to get the top of my stamp on the trunk level approximately with the top of the tummy there. So if I lean forward and you catch my head, sorry about that, I'll try not to. Here we go. There we go. Next I need to mask off the trunk. This is why I'm calling this double masking, because I need to have 2 things masked at the same time. So let's put this on, then I can do the water, and then I will leave them both on to do the trees. Right, so the water I am using Balmy Blue ink, and the stamp is from Lily Pad Lake. I'm using that one there. You could do this card as a complete picture without doing this bit across here, which this is an ideal stamp because it goes from side to side. Let me just bring some scrap paper. Earlier on I did one of these and I didn't get my water very straight. Let's see if I can do better this time. There we go. we go. I could have done without being a little bit lower down here, but I'm not going to worry about that. Let's put that back again. I don't want it not being there when I do the trees. When I do the trees, they just about come down to the trunk. They may come over, the trunk may not, but rather than taking any chances and just keeping it all covered. Right now, for the trees, I am using the Lovely as a Tree stamp, which I can't see right now. Oh, it's here. There's not much point me showing you this really, because when I bought mine years ago, it came in one of the old-fashioned boxes, so I don't have the stamps, the pictures on here. But it's the longest, it's a stamp set that we've had longest, and it's absolutely brilliant. I imagine probably most of you got this one. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this just about the top of the trunk. I'm going to stamp off first, but then once I've stamped once, I'm going to stamp a second time, so that I'm getting the trees at the back there. Okay, so let me come back down again, make sure I'm nice and straight and within shot. Right, so this has got to go about here. Oh, I didn't stamp off. Or lift off, don't go too hard. Oh, never mind. There we go, that's all right. We should be able to get a third one then, shouldn't we? Let's just move off to the side. There we go, that's fine. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. Not quite what I intended, but that's fine. You see how the difference in the darkness is with these ones here? That was stamped off once, and that's what I should have done there, but it doesn't matter. Right, I have finished with my masks now. Okay, so I've got a frog sitting very nicely on the tree trunk there, with the water lapping around the edges. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do some sky and some greenery. I'm also going to go over the water with my blue dauber, so that that's got colour in it as well. So I'm using Balmy Blue, and this is my Balmy Blue dauber. I'm going over the trees as well, on the top parts of them. I'll show you the card that this has been developed from, if you like. I shared it on my blog the other day, but I wasn't totally happy with it from the point of view that it looked quite bland, because I didn't put anything in the background like I have here, the sky, the trees and all of that. But I will show you. Okay, that's it. I'm quite happy for that to be blotchy. And just make the background of the blue go pale blue as well. There we go, that's good, I like that. So that's blue. No, blue should go that side, otherwise I haven't labelled these daubers yet, so I've got to make sure that I pay attention to what I'm doing. At the moment I know blue's that side, green's that side. Right, so the next one I need is for the, in fact I think I'm going to start colouring the frog. In fact I've forgotten to my little funny creature, haven't I? Let's do him. Where is he? Here we go. I'll use memento ink for him as well. There we go. I've got to be colouring him in anyway, so it doesn't matter the colour at the background. So I'm using my light granny apple green for the frog, and that's just for his eyelids. I keep practicing with these stamping blends, and I am getting more and more comfortable with them. As you know, I'm not really much of a colourer. Right, okay, so that's that bit. I will go and do, I like to allow a little bit of time for these colours to dry off. Now what's this one, light or dark? This is shaded spruce. So for the dark one I am going to do the outside parts of these wings. And his body. I don't find it very easy to talk and colour. It's normally when I start talking that I go over the edges or something. There we go, that's better. So that was the dark, so now I'm going to use the light shaded spruce. And I'm just going to do the insides here. There we go, that's alright. Now I'm going back to my frog, and I'm going to use a dark granny apple green. And I'm just going to go around the edges, and then I can come back and blend it in. And I want the spots really nice and dark. And his tummy, I think. What did I do around that one? Okay, I went all around the edges. Just going quite uneven there. Now I'm going to bring the lighter one back in again and see if I can get it to blend. Now I think that's giving some shading there. Right, that's good, except I'm going to go over the spotty bits again. Just want to make sure they really stand out nicely. And I think I'm going to do his tummy as well. On the other one what I did was I did the tummy dark and then I went over with the colour lifter. So it brought it up a little bit lighter. You can see that. Well, let me show you one with the colour lifter and one without. All a matter of choice really. Right, so the last thing is my dauber to do the green, and for that I am using Soft Sea Foam. And this is the green one. Obviously the Soft Sea Foam really is a very, very light colour, so it takes quite a bit to get it to show up. And I'm just going up as far as the hills that you can see through the trees. Oh, and I need to do his mouth as well. Now that was interesting. The first one that I did the inside of his mouth pink, and oh my goodness, it looked absolutely awful. So I wasn't quite sure what to do after that. And I can't remember what colour it was that I went over it, but it came up as a sort of a browny colour. Might have been, I'd say, was it a yellow that I'd used? Don't know, but it did come up quite nice. Right, I want that to go a bit green where his legs are. Yeah, that's better. That's it. See, you could leave that as a complete picture if you wanted, if you didn't want to cover half of it up. Now before I go on any further, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which is Hoppy for You. And again, I'm going to do that with black memento. And I think, let me just double check this. It's taken a bit to get used to having labels on the back of my stamps. I do like it. It just feels a bit strange. Right, still in screen. Yep. Right, excuse my head. There we go. Maybe a bit wonky, but not too bad. Right, so now we're going to assemble our card. Oh no, one bit more stamping. On the inside of my card, which I didn't show you, did I? I did the little dragonfly again. Okay. So let's do him again. Black. There he is. There we go. Now him I coloured with light and dark shaded spruce. So do the inside first with light. And then we do the outside and the body with dark. There we go. That's it. Right, okay, so now I will put my card together, starting at the inside, which is, I've already got my tape on there ready. If you haven't seen me using the tape before, the reason I started to do this, because I do get asked quite frequently, is when I first learnt card making many moons ago, I was taught how to do it using the tape to adhere my layers, and I do find it much easier to get my layers straight. Let me just concentrate for a moment. It's easy to do this upside down when I'm videoing. I forget that every time. Right. There we go. Yeah, this is how I've learned how to do my layers. And I don't know what actually made me stop, but I have always struggled with straight lines, you know that. And I have been a lot happier with my work since I've been using the tape. When I wasn't actually taught how to do it like this. What I was actually taught was to pull off each 4 corner, and I couldn't get on with that, so I changed it to my way of doing just the top and then undoing the sides and letting the sides go down because they prop the cardstock up and thereby stop the sticky bit actually adhering too soon. There we go, that's that one. So this one, what I'm going to do with my frog. So let me just give you an idea what it would look like if you kept that as a picture. Okay, so that's what that would look like. And now I'm going to show you what it's like having this banner down there. Oh no, I don't like that. Right, okay, let's put some tape on this. No, let's put this one on first. Now for this one I will use Tombow because I got things to line up against it, which makes getting this bit straight very easy. Whenever I do something like this, I normally leave the top strip a bit longer, so I just trim the edge off. But this time I haven't, it's absolutely spot on. Right, okay, so I'm going to pop this onto here now. So this will be tape. There it is. move that out of the way. Makes my desk look more untidy than it really is. Right, we want to do the bottom bit first. On both of my cards here I have mixed and matched shaded spruce, which is that one, and tranquil tide, which is that and that. I think the two just go together brilliantly. Right, I'm going to put some ribbon on here. That's these. Just lift the tape back a bit. Can pop that one over. Cover that one back up again. Let's see if we've got that straight. I'm just using my dark line as my measure. That's okay. No, that's got to go over slightly. I'm just confusing myself now because I looked at one end and I've got to measure the other. Right, so it's got to be a tad over. Now that should be spot on. These grid pads are absolutely brilliant for lining up. Really absolutely superb. Yeah, I think that's about right. So what I will do is I will just put another little piece to hold that down. Another little piece to hold that one down. And then cut that little bit off. Right, so that's our card. That's the right way up. So it's got to go on that way. We take this off and then turn it around. No, don't turn it around. That's it. Right, looks like I lost one of my side tabs there. Never mind, this will get it. That's it. And I'm not worrying about taking the backing off of those two little bits because it's there to hold the ribbon in place. Right, and then I'm just going to add a little bit here to do a, I don't know whether this is actually a faux bow, but it's just where I tie a knot on there. I love this ribbon, but I think it makes the bows too chunky. And then just trim that off. And trim that. And then I'm going to give these some, oh, the mouth, I forgot that, didn't I? Right, what did I decide? I think I gave him crumb cake, didn't I? So that's, oh, there we go, that's the light one. I think that'll be alright. It's sort of pinkish, isn't it? But pink was just far, far too pink. Now, where have I put the... Oh no, I've lost one. Oh, there it is. These are the googly eyes. The size that I have here are 3mm. I just bought them online. I don't think it was any shop in particular. I do find that quite a lot of them, the actual black bit in the middle doesn't move, which is why I prefer to get them set up and ready before I start videoing. Otherwise it's just such a waste of time. And there we go. There's today's card. And before I go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the first card that I made that this was spawned from, and it was this one which I shared on my blog, but I wasn't happy with it because I didn't like all this spare space up here. I love the design with the frog on the trunk and all of that, love it, and this bit, but I just didn't like all that. So then I had another go with the trees and everything, and I'm much happier. So I hope you liked today's project. I hope you give it a try, and I hope you've learnt something today as well with the double masking. Many thanks for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to help, and it's always nice to read your feedback. If you'd like to purchase anything that I featured here today, apart from the googly eyes, there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below. Also in the box below I'll put all the measurements and the products that I've used. If you've enjoyed my video and you'd like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click the subscribe button, which you will see in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, and also remember to click the bell, and that way you'll get email notification each time I upload a new video. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.